1.5 days after that explosive first meeting at the fertility concierge, Sol kept spinning like nothing happened. But inside Lami's head, a storm. Rent due. Tuition notices taunting her. And Kang Taehyun's voice, living rent-free too. Taehyun voice, echoing, "Make up your mind, Miss Trippenfall." 2 days later, at the surrogacy agency, consult room. Lami sits stiff, fingers woven, trying not to look at him. Kang Taehyun lounges like he owns the air. Then, they were moved to a private office. Blinds hummed shut. A doctor joined them with a tablet, and the kind of voice that made chaos sound like a checklist. So, to clarify, consultation and screenings will be done in Seoul, and the actual procedure will occur in Singapore, as discussed with Mr. Kang's team. Initial priming and insemination will be completed offshore. We recommend a Singapore partner clinic for obvious reasons. Obvious, Lami repeated. Dry. As in, illegal here obvious? The doctor softened her tone. As in, sensitive. Sensitive, Lami echoed, and shot a glare at the man who'd made her life a hobby. Of course. Taehyun didn't flinch. You'll be flown out privately. Best specialists. Full anonymity. Anonymity? Lami folded her arms. From who, exactly? The press? Or your bored billionaire friends? One of his brows rose, as he leaned forward, elbows on the table, and he replied with control in his tone, "From everybody, including the version of you that think you can still say no." "I can say no," Lami said furiously. "You can," he said, "but you won't," Lami continued. "And compensation?" The doctor slides a figure across the table, a number big enough to stop her heart for half a beat. Taehyun watching her. "Breathe, Miss Trippenfall." Lami, steadying. "I'm breathing. I'm also reading. There's also a cover contract on paper that protects both parties from rumors. You'll have 48 hours to decide. Preparatory course. Hormone injections for 2 weeks. Possible side effects. Dizziness, headaches, nausea, fainting spells. You'll need monitoring, rest, and strict nutrition." Taehyun, cutting in. "I'm not dragging this out. She knows what she needs, and I know what I want." Lami's pride rears up. So does reality. 24 hours is unfair. Also, 24 hours might save her life. Lami's jaw set. "And if I faint, will someone catch me? Or will I be billed for the floor?" Taehyun, without looking at the doctor, "I'll catch you. It's my marble." She sputtered. "You're impossible." "You've said that before, Miss Trippenfall." Her eyes flashed. "Stop calling me that." "Then earn a new nickname," Taehyun replied. Lami continued. "If I say yes, there are conditions." "Speak," Taehyun said. Lami continued. "My debts cleared in full, and seed money after for my own thing." Taehyun continued in a teasing tone. Arms folded, define thing. "Events and hospitality. Because I would like to start my own business." Taehyun, a beat, then approved. "Stipend now. Seed capital after. And housing covered during the term. I need privacy. No cameras in my room. No random staff checking me at 3 a.m. Taehyun, to his lawyer. Public areas only. Medical access by licensed staff. Knock. Record everything. Lawyer. Amended. "No, you belong to me" lines. Taehyun, eyes on hers. Voice sharp like a blade. "No. That's non-negotiable. You belong to me until this is over." Lami scoffs. "That's not fair. You are just an arrogant bully." Taehyun replied with a teasing grin on his face. "I know." "And," Lami continued, "no dating restrictions." "Denied," Taehyun said instantly. "No scandals, no risks, no headlines." She leaned in. "You don't control what I eat, wear, read, or breathe. Dietary and medical compliance are non-negotiable," he replied. "And also a charitable donation." to a girls' tech program in Kano. In my grandmother's name. The corner of his mouth moved like he was trying not to smile. Tae-hyun replied, done. Lami blinks and stared in surprise. No arguments? Tae-hyun, no. Lami, why? Because you negotiate like you mean to win, Lami said with a satisfied smile. I do. Tae-hyun said with a smirk. You won something, but not me. Lami rolled her eyes and replied, God forbid. Relax, he murmured, amusement cutting through his arrogance. You're not my type. Good, she shot back. You're nobody's type. He laughed and said, tell that to the stock markets and the girls drooling over my pictures on magazines. Lami continued, and no stalking me at work. No petty punishments. No, do you want to get fired? Every 5 minutes. Tae-hyun. Lazy grin. You make it so difficult to enjoy my hobbies. Lami. Voice sharp. Add it to the contract. Or I walk. He studies her, then nods once. Later that day, Lami's phone hums. A text from the agency's number. Please, review the NDA and preliminary terms. Link expires in 12 hours. She opens the doc. Her throat tightens at the clauses and the lifeline. Voice. Behind her. Low. Tick-tock. Miss Trip and Fall. She whirls. Kang Tae-hyun. Of course. Dark suit. Colder smile. This is a staff area. I own the hotel. It's all a Kang Tae-hyun area. Lami. Then go own your penthouse and leave me alone. Taen, tilting his head. Choose faster. Or I'll assume it's a no and find someone else by morning. He turns to leave. It stings more than she expects. Lami calling after him. I haven't said no. Tae-hyun. Without turning. Then don't waste time saying nothing. Silence in her apartment except for her heartbeat. She reads every line 3 times. The NDA. The wellness cover. The Singapore clause. The monitoring conditions. Weekly check-ins. A dedicated driver during treatment windows. Restrictive. Protective. Both. She thinks of every door that slammed in her face. Every bill waiting. Every pending debts and loans. At 2:08 a.m. She signs the NDA. The next morning, she arrived at the private clinic for the pre-screening. He was already there when Lami arrived. Dark coffee in hand. Unreadable eyes. Then, the nurse calls her name. Lami moves to stand, and he steps with her. You don't have to hover, Tae-hyun. I don't hover. I supervise. Lami. That's not better. Tae-hyun, quietly, to the nurse. Make sure she eats after the blood draw. Something warm. She probably skipped breakfast. I didn't. Then, her stomach growls, betraying her. Tae-hyun replied with a tiny smile. Noted. In the lounge, he appears with porridge and ginger tea. Lami. I can buy my own. Tae-hyun replied. But you didn't. Lami after a beat. Soft. Thank you. At the hotel, Tae-hyun sits studying her. The hotel schedule is brutal. Reduce your shifts during the prep phase. I can't afford to. Tae-hyun, that's what the stipend is for. Did you skim my contract? I read every line. There were a lot of lines. There are more. Few days later, Tae-hyun took Lami to his penthouse conference room, and 2 lawyers sat across from her. 2 lawyers. One mountain of paper. One CEO who treats silence like a weapon. Lawyer. Ms. Abubakar. This is the Wellness Consultant Agreement. Your public duties are generic. Scheduling, nutrition oversight, and personal routine optimization. Lawyer 2. We also require a temporary residence option. A furnished suite in Kang Tower during treatment windows. Medical monitoring, privacy, and security. Lami said in sharp voice, absolutely not. I'm not moving in with a man who calls me Miss Trip and Fall. It's not cohabitation. Separate floors. My doctor is on call in the building. Fewer eyes. Fewer risks. If rumor starts, everything burns. Lami. Or we could just hide less. Tae-yoon measured. This is not a romance novel. Lamy holding his gaze. It's also not your dictatorship. Long pause. One of his lawyers swallows like they just licked a battery. Tae-yoon continued. You'll keep your current place. But for procedure prep and recovery, you stay here. My driver, my doctor, no arguments. And you stop threatening to fire me at the hotel. Tae-yoon almost amused. You enjoy removing my hobbies. Add it to the contract. Tae-yoon, to the lawyer. Add it. And also, we'll travel quiet. Private terminal. You will not speak to the press. My team handles every logistic. He looks back at her, and for the first time, says her name like it's not a chess move. Tae-hyun. Quiet. Lamy. If you do this with me, I'll keep you safe. Lamy. Even quieter. From everyone. Or just from you. No answer. Maybe that's an answer. Later that day, a new message from the agency. Singapore clinic confirmed. If both parties agree, departure in 72 hours. 72 hours to change everything. She types one word. Lamy. Text. Yes. 3 dots. Then Tae-hyun replied. Tae-hyun. Driver at 7 a.m. Pack light, passport. Be on time. Lamy text. I'm always on time. 2 days later, a midnight drive to the private terminal. The jet waited under a spill of moonlight. Lamy's stomach twisted at the hush of money, working silently. Inside, the cabin lights were dim. A silver tray of fruit she didn't touch. A wool blanket she pretended not to need. He worked. She watched clouds. When the plane banked over Singapore's glittering ribs of highway, Lamy pressed her forehead to the window. I'm not doing this for you, she said to the glass. I'm not asking you to, he replied, not looking up. I'm asking you to do it right. To be continued in part 3.